Hello, I'm here. Please subscribe. All the stories in this series are true. This is the woman who couldn't stop laughing at funerals. Let's begin with a chilling scene. A wide shot. A funeral. Mourners stand silently in a circle. They're staring down at a coffin. Suddenly, a woman in black breaks the silence. She begins to laugh, softly at first, but then uncontrolled. Her face contorts in a smile. The man shakes his head slowly. He looks back at the woman who's laughing, his eyes wide with shock. She was the kind of person who would hold her students' hands when they were going through hard times. One student told us she was the emotional center of her family. She was the one everyone turned to when things got hard. Everyone except me. I was too embarrassed to tell her what I was going through, not softly this time, but loud enough for the entire room to hear. But that night, her son tells her how he and his friends were bullied at school. I don't feel happy, she thinks. I feel like I'm breaking apart. He was trying to be brave, but tears welled up in his eyes. And then it happened again. Lila couldn't help herself. She giggled. She apologized profusely afterward. She jumps up and runs out before anyone can stop her. She was my rock, my best friend. But lately, I've been afraid to talk to her, afraid of what she might do next. Lila knows it's going to be difficult. She hasn't laughed in 2 weeks. He looks toward her, his eyes cold. "Why are you laughing?" he asks. Her brother Hafiz is sitting by her bedside. Relief washes over her. "What exactly did she say?" he asks. Hafiz pauses. "She asked me for forgiveness. She said she hadn't meant to hurt me." She's surrounded by doctors. She sees her sister, Salima, and brother-in-law, Jamal. They run over and embrace her. "You scared us," Salama says, her voice trembling. Finally, Layla receives her diagnosis. Pseudobulbar Affect (PBA). When you feel happy, your brain releases different chemicals that trigger laughter. Sometimes these signals get scrambled and your brain tells you to laugh when you should be crying, or vice versa. That's what happens in people with PBA. Laughter is usually associated with pleasure or amusement, but in some cases, it can be a reflex triggered by a range of emotions, including sadness, anger, or frustration. This condition, known as pathological laughter or gelastic seizures, can be caused by various factors such as brain lesions, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, or stroke. But every time she walks into a quiet room, she wonders, what if it happens again? What if my grief shows up wearing the wrong face? In Leela's case, it was a small stroke that damaged a part of her brain called the frontal lobe, which is responsible for controlling emotions. This damage caused her brain to misfire, sending signals that triggered uncontrollable laughter. It's not uncommon for someone with PBA to burst out laughing in the middle of a funeral or crying in the middle of a party. "We thought we'd lost you," Hafiz reaches out, his hand shaking. "I'm sorry," Layla whispers. "I don't know what came over me. She didn't notice because it was so small. Now it's causing big problems." She trails off. She remembers what she said to her brother. She repeats, "I don't know." Tears stream down her face. She turns to her brother. "I'm sorry, Hafiz. I am so sorry." Hafiz looks at her for a long moment. Then he says softly, "It's okay. You don't remember, do you?" She shakes her head. "That's what matters. Rest now." Confused, Lila responds, I don't know." She looks around the room. Everyone is staring at her. If you'd like to watch another scary video, click here. One lingering image. Her alone at a funeral, lips pressed tight, holding back a laugh and a tear. She feels herself hyperventilating. Her vision blurs. She collapses to the ground. That is until one night when she wakes up in the middle of the night, gasping for air. It is a way for us to express ourselves and connect with others. But what happens when that laughter becomes uncontrollable? When it's no longer a response to joy, but a symptom of something else entirely? It is important to recognize that mental health is just as important as physical health, and that seeking help for mental health concerns is a sign of strength, not weakness. By understanding and addressing the root causes of uncontrollable laughter, we can help those who suffer from this condition and bring them one step closer to recovery. She can't stop laughing. Her husband, Kamal, rushes to her side. He helps her calm down, but she's better. She goes to the bathroom and stares at her reflection. Fearful, she doesn't recognize the woman staring back. How can this be happening? How can I control this? but the fear of another episode lingers in the back of her mind. Still, she manages a smile. During the ceremony, her brother tells a funny story about their childhood. Leela's grip tightens around her purse. She bites her tongue. She holds her breath. Her brother finishes his story. Applause. Now it's her turn. She stands up, starts to speak. A chuckle escapes her lips. She apologizes and sits back down. I'm worried about our marriage, but mostly I worry about our children. They're too young to understand. My daughter comes to me sometimes and asks why mommy is always so sad. I just tell her mommy has a broken heart. How do you explain this to a child? On the way home, she apologizes profusely to her husband Kamal for the outburst. It just keeps happening. I don't know what to do anymore. The incidents become more frequent, laughter louder. People begin to distance themselves. Layla grows increasingly afraid, ashamed. What if it happens again? What if my grief shows up wearing the wrong face? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Every time I try to be there for people, I end up pushing them away. I can't lose them too. But she always knew. She would call me out of the blue and say, "You haven't been at lunch. Come over right now. We're gonna make you dinner. Stay for movie night," and she would. Make sure I did. It was the only time I didn't feel alone. He whispers again, "This is not a horror film. This actually happened." And no one, not even the woman herself, knew why. Her shoulders shake with each outburst. People turn. One leans in close to the woman next to him and whispers, "Is she laughing? Now let's meet our patient." Patient zero name, Lila, age 49. Occupation, school teacher. Status, mother of 3. Or from those who know her, we hear this. Calm, composed, deeply empathetic. We were gathered around her grave, saying our goodbyes, sharing memories, and all of a sudden I chuckled softly. I couldn't help it. It was like there was pressure building up inside me and I just had to release it. But as soon as I did, I felt worse. So much worse. It felt like I had betrayed everyone. Like I had somehow lost a part of myself. I tried to apologize, but no words came out. I could only whisper, but my aunt wouldn't have minded. I keep telling myself she would have understood. After all, she was the one who taught me to laugh at life's little ironies. Then something strange happened. People stopped turning to her for comfort. They started turning away. We'll let Leela take it from here. It was my aunt's funeral. But what happens next will stay with you long after you hear it. A few weeks later, Leela attends a student's memorial service. She's listening intently until suddenly she laughs. At home, Leela tries to be strong. She has to be for her kids, right? In the morning, she wakes up feeling terrible. She goes to the bathroom and stares at her reflection. Fearful, she doesn't recognize the woman staring back. Days pass. After seeing numerous doctors, being prescribed medication, and undergoing countless tests, she feels defeated. Let's cut to her husband, Kamal. Kamal speaks. Let's continue with Layla. Another funeral. This time it's her mother. Just as the service ends, she hears her brother clear his throat. When she wakes up, she's in the ER. As the family leaves the room, the doctor leans in close. In the days that follow, Lila feels better, stronger. Finally, a neurologist takes a closer look. Laughter is a natural human response to joy, amusement, surprise, or even relief. The neurologist orders a video EEG and high-resolution brain imaging. Days turn into weeks. The test results come back. Here's a simple explanation. When you feel sad, your brain releases chemicals that trigger tears. For Leela, it was traced back to a small stroke she had suffered months earlier, the neurologist explains. Leela's brain wasn't laughing, it was misfiring. PBA is most common in stroke survivors, people with MIS, ALS, or brain injuries. Now, for a chilling or thought-provoking closing line, you could use this. Layla now takes medication to reduce her episodes. Fade to black. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe.